disappeared, and you're the last one left. If you want to live, I suggest not doing drugs and having sex. Run through the forest grasping for breath, as you're chased by a maniac wearing a mask of flesh, tripping over dead friends. This isn't over until you get revenge. Final girls try to survive in a violent world. It's eye for an eye. Hide behind doors, lying underneath beds, trying to bide your time and find your strength, and figure out how much time it takes to escape before it's too late, or come face to face with a grim fate. Welcome to ClassHorrorCast. Let's see how long you last as you torture to death. So come join your host Aaron and Tomcat as we bring you a podcast that will leave you laughing in a body bag or a bloodbath. Welcome to ClassHorrorCast. Let's see how long you last.
Indeed, it will leave you in a body bag. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of ClassHorrorCast. I'm one of your hosts, Aaron, and I'm joined by my co-host, Thomas, as I like to call him. He doesn't like that, so I'll allow him to introduce himself with all his cool-ass nicknames.
I'm Tomcat, aka Tom Thompson, the Raptilian. You can find all my music on all music platforms. I am working on a new album. I just got to finish recording like 4 songs, and essentially it's done. And it's gonna be a little different, but still kind of the same subject matter, but a little different. If you're easily offended, I don't know if you'll like my music. But
Probably won't like any of them.
yeah, pushing
Just
boundaries
heads up.
is the name of the game. Yes. So you want to talk about something?
Yeah, actually, so before we get into what we're going to talk about in this episode, we just wanted to talk for a minute, I guess, about neither of us have had this conversation yet, so it's not something that's been like pre-planned, about the recent movie Death of a Unicorn, which, Tom, I'll let you go first. You've seen it before I did.
Yeah. So like we had movie tickets, right? That like buy one get one free, whatever, some like deal or whatever. And it was done in April. So we wanted to go see a movie, and it was that or Woke White, Snow White. and I heard that was awful. So we're like, oh, Chelsea's like that unicorn movie just came out, and I was like, let's go see that. That looked fun. Like I remember seeing the trailer, and then so we saw it. She thought it was okay. For what it was, she's like, she didn't like it too much, but I liked it. For a horror movie about a unicorn, I thought that it was fairly good, and I like that one bald guy, the servant guy.
He's very good, and I will say, let me
Chelsea
get his
loves
name.
Paul Rudd.
I used to love Paul Rudd. Now I can't look at him every movies, and I'm like, I just want him to die.
Yeah, he kind of has the same character.
Anthony Carrigan is that guy's name. A very good actor, and I recognized him instantly because he played Victor Zsasz in the Gotham TV show.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh,
I
dude,
know
he's
him.
fantastic
I know
in
him
that.
well from Barry. Have you seen Barry?
I haven't, but I know
It's
what you're
so
talking
good.
about.
He's like a hitman, and it's like his buddy. It's like not really his buddy. He's kind of after him, but like it's a very funny. Like if you never have seen Barry, with what's that? Give me a sec. What's that guy's name? So it's really H.
Kind of a scary looking dude, though, right?
Oh yeah. What's that guy's name? That's Bill Hader.
Mm-hmm.
She's in it. Stephen Root. Anthony Carrigan. Yeah, he's gold in that show. Like Barry is actually a very good show. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, he's like, but he's kind of comical too, though. He's like, you can play that psycho. Is the Gotham show any good?
Fantastic.
Really?
I guarantee you dig it. It has like a bit of everything. It's like it's got its action, it's got whatever, but it's also got like kind of horror elements. The storytelling's really good.
I don't know if I could convince the wife to watch that, but you want to watch a whole series about Batman? trying to get her to watch.
That's the good thing.
What?
It's technically not about Batman.
I know. I've been trying to get her to watch Daredevil, and she was like bored by it. Like the new.
Well, yeah, this is completely different. I didn't think, because I've watched some of those kind of shows, and I was like I used to love Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I don't know if I can get into another show like that, but this is completely different than what I was expecting.
So I like Death of a Unicorn. I thought it was like fun and it kept my attention the whole time. And I also went. I think I was pretty high when I went. I did smoke some weed. I smoked a joint, so like I was like in a good mood. And you didn't like it at all, eh?
No, so for people who don't know, like I'm assuming everybody that's probably going to listen to the show and will know most of the things we talk about. But basically, the story is a father-daughter duo, Elliot and Ridley, hit a unicorn with their car and bring it to a wilderness retreat of a mega wealthy pharmaceutical CEO. So from what I could kind of gather from like half watching the movie, was he some sort of like attorney, lawyer kind of dude, and he's like trying to take over like this guy who's dying, his like
Did you
affairs
see
and
in
whatever.
theaters?
Yeah.
So you fell asleep or something?
No, but I was just like looking at my phone and all. I was like, this is just
Really?
fucking. I was the only person in there.
Wow, that's
I
crazy.
was like, wow, this is absolutely just dreadful. I don't know what it was about it, dude. I just couldn't fucking.
Couldn't do it, eh?
I just could not get into it. I like. What was it about it that you enjoyed?
I don't know, like I thought it was kind of comical. Like the deaths and the kills were kind of funny. You know, for a comedy kind of horror about a unicorn killing people, I thought that the story for what it was like was decent. I thought it could have been way worse. That's how
So, if
I
someone
thought it
said
could
to
be way
you, "I
worse.
have $15 million and this is the movie I'm going to make," what would you say?
Like if the death of the unicorn, I'd be like, that sounds weird, I guess.
But if someone said like, I want to spend $15 million on a movie and this is number one on my list, I think this is the best idea.
Oh no, yeah, it's definitely could have been used for something else. It is weird that it got approved for what it is, but uh, as a whole, like I would probably watch it again. Like I
Oh
think,
Christ. I
yeah,
don't know if I could ever make it through that ever again.
I thought I don't know. This is the first time we've really disagreed on something, but I thought it was for what it is for entertainment purposes. It was an enjoyable movie. Like it was it was fun for what it was and what it was about.
It had elements that I was like, I could see like the bones of a really good movie, but I kind of wish it had went one way or the other. Like I seen people, like there's people on fucking IMDb before I went. Like I'll always just have a quick look on like reviews and stuff, but I won't
Mhm.
spoil it. But I'll just get a general feel for like, okay, how are people feeling about this? And like I seen people saying things like, won't make the anyone's best horror movie list or anything like that, but
No, for sure.
is mixing the social satire of Knives Out with monster movie thrills such as Jurassic Park and Aliens. Death of a Unicorn is a gleefully unsubtle bit of fun. I'm like, right, I didn't.
I
Now,
agree with
you
that.
could see, right, how you could tie it to stuff like Jurassic Park and all, but I just wish it had just went one way or the other. I didn't really like the way it was like, haha, comedy. Haha, it's supposed to be kind of serious and we're supposed to care about the relationships. Now it's supposed to be scary. Now it's supposed to be kind of gory, funny. I might just pick one and stick to
Yeah.
it because I just felt like they'd done none of those things well enough. And then when you've done a bit of everything and done none of it well, I was like, wow, this just feels like four different movies. Pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah. It,
Yeah, I don't know, like there was parts of it I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And I like the idea of like a scary unicorn. It was something that never really occurred to me, to be honest. And like
it
the
made me
design.
want to do an episode on my show about unicorns because there is a fair amount of like cryptid stuff about them.
The other
Yeah, it
thing
didn't
I
do that well
really
on
had an
Rotten
issue
Tomatoes.
with was why use so much CGI? Please stop.
Yeah.
Now, I
Yeah.
will say that when it came to nighttime in the story,
Mhm.
the CGI was infinitely better, and I think that's because they had like the darkness to kind of hide some of maybe the imperfections. But when you
Yeah.
first start to see them and it's like broad daylight, I'm like, wow, that is so jarringly like clearly obvious that it's CG. I just can't deal with it.
Yeah. I'm surprised they chose that, but who knows? If I watched it again at home, I could be a little more critical. Um
It
like
was
I just
fine.
thought for a movie about a unicorn in a horror movie, I thought it could have been worse. That's how I thought about it. I
Yeah,
was
I
like,
just wish like part of me when they were doing the scary parts, like where it was meant to be kind of scary, and some of the kills, I was like, I want that movie just for the entire hour 40 minutes.
Well, and it's also like it's also because some of the people that were in it. Like I love William Poulter or whatever.
Yeah,
That
he's
guy's
very good.
so funny.
Do you know what
Even
I
when he's
found though?
younger, dude.
I like Paul Rudd and stuff, but like I just found like in this he was just like trying really hard to be
Oh
funny, and I
yeah.
was like, wow, you're embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm actually not gonna lie, I didn't like Paul Rudd's performance that much. But
Mm,
they like there's a fair amount of like decent actors in
really
it.
good actors, yeah. Jen
That William
Ortega,
Poulter guy is so funny. Like some of the stuff that he's been in, especially when he was like younger, and he's been able to do like a more serious take. Like he's been in Midsommar, which I do definitely want to cover. Um he kind of grew as an actor because I mostly think of him as we're in the Millers, right? What's going on, eyebrows? You know, he has a
um,
weird face, man.
he does, right? He does. I was like, is it only me that thinks that?
No, no, he definitely has a weird face. He's coming up in a war movie soon.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. So if we get on to what we actually came here to talk about, then now the opinions could flip again because I'm not sure. Me and Tom haven't talked about how either of us feel about this movie that we're going to cover. So this
No,
could change now. This could go from me loving this movie and Tom hating it. So I don't know yet. But
we'll see.
yeah, so today we're hopping aboard the Midnight Meat Train as we take a deep dive into 2008 horror thriller based on a short story by Clive Barker. This dark, grisly, and visually striking film was directed by Ryuhei Kitamura, has gained a cult following over the years for its unique mix of gore, psychological horror, and bizarre mystery. Though it wasn't a major commercial success at the time of its release, Midnight Meat Train has stood out as a prime example of brutality and surreal storytelling that Clive Barker has become known for.
My
Um,
my wife and I was like, we're gonna watch Midnight Meat Train, and I'm like, she's like, I don't want to watch that. I'm like, Bradley Cooper's in it. Like, it's not that bad. At least it's not like. She's like, that last one that you made me watch was horrible, and I was like, the um,
last broadcast,
no, no, no. What we just covered.
Darkness
Uh,
Falls.
yeah, Darkness Falls. She's like, that was awful. I was like, it was fun. You know, it's like nostalgic to me and Aaron, so we both like it. And she was like, no, it was like the acting was trash. It looked like trash. It just poorly written. Like, it's
Rude.
just like just
So rude.
shitting on it. I know. She enjoyed this a little more, but she's like, I don't want to watch. It's just the name. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, a very
Midnight
weird
Meat
choice
Train.
of name as well. And I see lots of people make jokes about that because obviously Clive Barker's homosexual. So
Wow, I didn't know that. Is he
they were
really?
like, of course it's
Yeah.
called Midnight Meat Train, but he didn't name the movie, so there is
I
that.
didn't know he was a
Yeah, I
homo.
think that's why all his stuff are sexy because
That
he
sucks because
talks
I
about it.
like Clive Barker. I'm like,
Same.
someone's like, "Are you
No,
into
you
touch?"
can't like him anymore.
Because like he's gay.
I
But
was
like,
literally thinking that I was like, does Tom know? Because I was like, I feel like if he knows that he's gay, he'll be like, "Ugh, I hate all this fucking work. I hate Hellraiser. I hate everything."
yeah. No, I got nothing against gay people, man. At least he hides it well, I guess. But like, I've read a couple. Like, I've read one of his books. I liked it. It was
Actually, I don't know if he's. No, I think he is gay. I don't know if he's gay or he's bisexual or something.
might be by
But he even
Hellbound.
says
I want to get
something-
Hellbound Heart. But
he
I've read.
he's a very like because I'll get into it a little bit later, like some of the special features. So for people listening or watching, I watched the extreme edition or like the unrated cut. So there
Yeah.
was a theatrical cut that was like cut to pieces. But I watched the one with all the like where they left in all the full gore scenes and stuff, and there's a couple of special features on it that were quite good. And it like talks to Clive quite a bit. And it was actually really interesting to listen.
So you want to? So Clive Barker he identifies as a gay man who had relationships with women and considers women a central part of his life. So it says that he had several relationships with older women during his teenage years, but realized he was gay when he was around 18. So he probably got molested by women, it sounds like, and then it maybe switched him. Because like, how young were you? And you know, because if you realized you had relationships with older women, but you realized you were gay around 18 or 19. So how young were you when these women were maybe taking advantage of you?
And he's also, I wonder, like, I don't want to speak for him because that's
No.
I don't know if that is the case. Like, but he's like a hypersexual guy. as far as I can tell. And I don't know if I mean that in like the physical terms.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't seem like a guy who's trying to be all like creepy and like, haha, let me like sex everybody up. But like if you look at a lot of his work, it's very like
Mhm.
sexualized. There's a lot of like bondagey kind of stuff and like
So he's like, I think you can be physically homosexual and spiritually bisexual.
okay, interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah. Okay. Despite
What did you
what
say then?
I might
What did you just
have,
say then? You're a spiritual homo.
yeah. Um, it's like whatever. I'm a big fan of Hellraiser. I've read what was that one book that I read? I read most of it. Like I think I didn't finish it, but it was entertaining. He is a good writer. But yeah, his works are very like I don't know. Maybe he is diving into a little bit of a fetish in
Yeah,
a
well,
lot
like
of his
even if
stuff.
you look at things like HR Geiger, however you want to pronounce it, I have a book downstairs, like this big, like fucking 600 or 700 page book of all his different artwork and stuff. The amount
Mhm.
of like weird, like sexy, like dicks and titties and like vaginas and stuff that are in his work is like kind of unsettling. I'm like, what is that about?
Well, something deep inside of them, you know. So you never know. But like, I can't. Where the hell's that? I'm trying to find that book that I can't find. But um,
This movie actually really got like pulverized though. Like I actually feel kind of
really?
bad. Yeah, so like
Yeah,
they
we can
pop
talk about it. I'll give you my opinions and stuff once we really get into it. But I like
like
Clive
the
Barker, so this reminded me of a Clive Barker film, really. So
yeah, like no, I will say right. It was in my opinion, anyway. It's definitely one of the better outcomes for his adapted works, and he himself even says it. That
is-
I had written down here, so like some of
yeah,
the notes from like the commentary track. So it's him and the director, like they watch the movie together. And to be honest with you, like they're quite frank in everything they say. Like they're not doing that thing where it's like, oh, this movie's so good, everything is so great, everything's so perfect. Like they're just
mm,
really honest about it. And like straight away, Barker's like, yeah, we've been working on getting this movie made for a long time. The script was the hardest part. Slasher elements are fine, but nobody could really convey any of the bigger things that he felt like were at play, which we'll get into, like that like backstory.
Well, I heard that the book it was only a short story, right?
Yeah,
And that they had to add certain adaptations in the film of like making more of a background of Leon or whatever, because it wasn't in the book. He was just like like a worker, or like a service worker at the something like that.
was he again in the? He was in a. Oh, was he an accountant or something like that?
Something like that, where he's just like a
Something
basically a
weird.
service
Yeah,
worker or something like
he's
that.
just like
And
sitting
then
at
they
the
changed
desk.
it.
And yeah, and I think the whole point was like, I think why they chose photographers because they kind of wanted to bring in that kind of night crawlery.
There was times in this film though that I'm like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Go ahead!" Like I'm freaking out. Like, why are you going that way? Why are you following him? Are you fucking retarded? Like, why would you go that direction? Why would you like do that? That drives me insane in horror movies, and people like purposely put themselves into very dangerous situations. Where I'm like, man, how? Why? Like, I know you're being fueled by curiosity, but like, if you know this man is, I'm not gonna follow Jeffrey Dahmer into his apartment and then like bend over and be like, "All right, sir, I'm ready." You know what I mean?
Was though the so from listening, I'm trying to find out exactly where I had written this down, but
If you knew Ted Bundy was a serial killer, would you follow him into his
oh
house?
no, no, not at all. Yeah, that was it. I wrote down. I do like the idea of Leon slowly descending into madness.
Mhm.
Um, that sex scene is intended to like seem like it's more rough than like she was expecting, where he's kind of
Yeah.
like turned into something. The fact that he has all these visions and nightmares, and I didn't realize until I listened to the commentary track. The whole idea is supposed to be why he does all that. Remember when he first meets Mahogany or whatever, and like he
Yeah, I don't know
grabs
what
him
his name is. Yeah.
and he like looks at him or whatever. So the whole idea is supposed to be from that point they have this weird
Connection. It seemed like
connect.
that.
Yeah,
I'm like, why wouldn't you back up?
that's why he's doing all the dumb shit of like you just said. I think now it doesn't come across very well when you're
No.
watching it, but it's supposed to be like it's like he can't help himself but like make all the wrong choices and like go all the wrong ways and do all the wrong things.
I know. And I'm like, why are you doing this, man? It's so dumb.
Uh,
I'll tell you a little secret about myself. Sex scenes in movies and shows, I will fast forward through them, especially if they're
oh,
obnoxiously long. I feel like we've talked about this. Maybe I feel like maybe me and Billy
oh,
did,
I
but
don't know.
it's I don't care. Like if I want to watch a sex scene, I'll put on some porno or some shit. It's like
Yeah, like
it's
I
just
don't, it's not something that necessarily interests me, to be honest. I'm like,
no.
whatever.
Sometimes they're so long that even on shows, me and Chelsea are like, what the fuck? And we'll skip through it, and it's like 10 minutes. And we're like, why is this like important? Like you even there's been a couple movies that we've watched where we're like, they could have just shown them go into the room. Like if you're gonna show nudity or whatever, right? But don't make it this little thing where you just see like half of a nipple or whatever, and they're just rolling around the sheets. Like do it or not do it. But there's definitely been some sex scenes in like movies and shows they're like very obnoxiously long, and I don't know what the purpose is. It's not benefiting the story. So I was like, yeah, I don't need like whatever. I'm just gonna skip through this because like it's fucking boring.
Yeah, and even from listening to it, I think the only reason that I think that was put in was to convey that, the way she's trying to be like the supportive partner and stuff like that, and she's trying to be like quite loving, and then
Mhm.
like I think that scene is supposed to convey like instead of like them making love, he's just fucking her,
Yeah, yeah.
and she's just kind of there, like you can even see in her facial expression, she's kind of like, huh? And it's like I thought we were making love, but now I'm getting fucked to death, and
Yeah,
like
it's
it's supposed to be like he's turning into something that he wasn't before.
be honest, most men, would you rather make love or fuck?
Be honest with yourself. Don't be a
Fuck.
bitch. Be honest.
You know,
Everybody
you want to
listening, be
slam
honest.
those cheeks, like that's what the men wants to do. Like you gotta be sensual a bit and stuff like that, but most men just want to get to it. That's an honest take, and it's probably true for most people, unless you're an effeminate bitch. Just kidding.
Um, Clive says as well, 2 or 3 times, I think, that he he's quite aware that most of his work that's been adapted for screen
Yeah,
is
yeah.
pure garbage. Like and I, upon like more investigation, he's probably the number one guy who speaks out against his own stuff being adapted for screen. That like
Mm,
projects start, he's really excited about like, oh, this short story or this book or whatever is going to be adapted into a movie. That's the natural progression. He thinks it's a great idea. And he's
yeah.
like, and then just over time between studios, producers, distribution companies, all these different people get involved. And by the end of it, you're just sitting there going, what
I
is
know,
this?
because I want to cover Hellraiser at some point, but honestly, I want to do like 1, 2, and 3, and then save the messed up ones for either watch alongs and commentaries or just like a 45. Like, you know what I mean? I do not want to cover all whatever how
Yeah,
many they
some of
are in one sitting. Like, so I like even like I would do the first 3, but like it's some of them I've had to turn off. But like when he goes to space and all that stuff, like those are fun commentaries for everybody. Like, make sure if you're listening to this or watching this, go subscribe on Rumble because we're able to do a little more things on Rumble, especially like watch alongs and stuff like that. So it's definitely worth subscribing to. Like I keep shouting that out, but Rumble is a great platform that is a little more lenient when it comes to things. So definitely go check that out. But yeah, I couldn't do like, but I honestly think that Hellraiser 1 and 2 are pretty phenomenal when it comes to like a horror movie, especially the first one, like just the setup, the way that carries on. Um, you know what I mean? It's still holds up. And it's just because of
yeah, I do like a lot of the
what's the guy who
Hellraiser.
plays Pinhead? Bradley something like
Doug
that.
Bradley.
Doug Bradley. He does a good job. Without him, it's not really.
There's a couple of featurette things on the unrated version of the movie.
Yeah.
We have Clive Barker, the man behind the myth, the anatomy of murder, Mahogany's tale, and then like the audio commentary with the 2 guys. But the bit on Clive, it's actually really good. I might see if I can find it on YouTube and send it to you because it's actually a really good like 15-minute watch. It's like a mini documentary, but they go to his house in Hollywood and
Mhm.
he has this fucking, it's like an underground bunker he goes down into, but it's his art studio where he does all his paintings and stuff. And like, dude, it's like, it gave me goosebumps because I was like, this is like kind of spooky. Like, it's like, he kind of seems like a character from a movie as well, how he works and like how his mind works. And he was
Mhm.
talking about, like, they ask him about, why don't you really direct anything or like really have much involvement? It's more like, people option his stories and then somebody else makes them. And he kind of, is just like an executive producer. And he says it on the documentary thing. He's like, because I don't have full control. And then everybody messes up and it's a pile of shit that I don't like. So the only thing
A
I can
lot of
control
them.
is if I write a story or write a book, it's only me holding the pen. And if I
Yeah.
paint a painting, it's only me holding the paintbrush. So that's the reason that I love that more than I love filmmaking.
Makes sense. We could cover him as a person at some
Yeah,
point.
fascinating guy.
You know what I mean?
Crazy.
Yeah. Because he's kind of a weirdo. Covering some of these more obscure like artists would be interesting.
I did write down as well that one of the biggest issues that I probably have with the movie, I enjoy this movie a good bit, to be honest with you. But one of my glaring issues that I didn't really like that much, and maybe it's just me, I tried to like kind of not notice as much, but it does bother me in parts, was the fucking use of CGI, man.
Oh, I know. Okay, there was some kills where I was like, "Oh, that's cool for what it is." But then you can like the beginning of the CGI, it looks pretty decent, and then it goes too far. Like the eyeballs popping out. I was like, "Cool," but like I would have liked it to be practical because I think it would have looked a little better. Like there was
'Cause there's
parts where I'm like,
sometimes
that looks cool, 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 cool. Oh no. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Where it looked it
yeah.
looked decent at first, and then it just goes to like it drops
There's
off.
things they done like, and it started to remind me of like, some of those later Resident Evil movies where it became just like a
Oh man.
3D with
Even the
all the like
first one,
techno
those
music,
dogs were awful.
But like even as the CG got better, like when Wesker and stuff comes into it, and like there's a scene, I don't know if it's Resident Evil Afterlife, one of those anyway, where uh Wesker is in some big lab room thing, and
Yeah,
Alice, is it? Is that the
I think
character?
so.
Yeah, so
Something
she
like that.
walks
It's
in
been
and
a
she's like,
long
"Oh,
time.
Wesker." She does like the cringy, like, "Wesker, I'm back, and this time I brought some friends."
Mhm.
And then he turns around and goes, "Well, you should have brought more." And he takes his sunglasses off and he throws them. And like it does this 3D and there's all this
Oh, I
movement.
remember that. Yeah, it's so gay.
And then like
Yeah.
she has to like dodge the glasses for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, it's what are the glasses gonna do? And then while she's dodging the glasses, he's like spinning in slow motion in CG, like flying towards her.
I
And
feel like I kind of remember that.
there was parts of this movie that reminded me of like that weird, like, why did we have to use CGI here? Because it's really taken me out of it. Like, there's a few scenes where he hits people with that meat hammer thing,
Yeah, yeah.
and the blood spatter is CG on the windows, or he smashes. Is it Rampage Jackson? Does he smash his head off the glass window? And
Yeah.
the cracks in the fucking glass window are CG,
Yeah, it looks
and
terrible.
I'm like, wow, that's so bad.
Rampage Jackson did not like doing this movie, he said. I watched a clip of him talking about how I don't think they did hang him up by the meat hook. Or did they? I can't
No, I
remember.
don't think. Not from
Because he
what I remember.
complained about that they wanted him to wear a thong. And he was like, and they wanted to plaster because they had to plaster him up. He's like, I'm supposed to be on a meat hook, and he was like, this is the most degrading film I've ever done. And he was like, they had to plaster me up, and they wanted me to wear a thong. He's like, I ain't wearing a thong. I don't know you people. And then so he's like, I'll wear a jockstrap. I'm an athlete. Like, I'll wear that. And then he was like, I almost had to fight one of these motherfuckers because one of them slapped my ass cheeks when they were like plastering it. And he was like, I don't know these people. And it just seemed like he had a terrible time doing this film.
He can be a bit of a, like, I'm a huge UFC guy, have been for
Yeah.
like probably the last like 20 years, but he can be a bit of a moany bitch as well, though. He's kind of
Mhm.
annoying sometimes. I'm like, for a guy who's a professional fighter, he does an awful lot of moaning. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay,
I need
whatever.
my way, you know?
But look, maybe that's the way when you get to like the top levels in anything. I think you have to be
Yeah.
a little bit gone. I did enjoy though, like the visual style and like the direction,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the art direction. I thought was quite good. Like and that Ryu Kitamura guy who directed this movie, like this was his first feature as well, which I thought was really good
Mhm.
considering like if this was your first movie, I'd be quite happy with that. Like I'd stand over that and say, you know what, like I gave that my best shot considering I never done it before.
Yeah. 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 I think visually it looks good. Like I enjoyed the movie, right? I thought it was pretty decent. Um, some of the that's why I said some of the CGI. I'm like, oh, I wish you could have, you
Yeah.
know,
Yep. I
pull it
actually wrote that down and I
pull it
knew
back a bit.
yeah, I knew you'd feel the same. I was like, can you imagine how perfect this movie could have been if they had to use practical effects and
Yeah,
only
pull it back a
CG
bit.
just to clean up some shots?
Yeah, I know, because like practical would have looked way better, but you
Hmm.
know, but through some of the film, like I said, I was like, "What are you doing? Why?" I know he's being pulled in. They should have made that a little more obvious. Which like
Yeah,
I
it's
kind of
really not. It doesn't
yeah.
translate. I don't think unless you're listening to it with the guys talking over it. I
Mhm.
think it's very hard because, like, even as I was listening to the commentary track, I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
now I get it." But like some of that now as well could boil down to this movie got like shredded to pieces between the
70% of Rotten Tomatoes. That's better than the Death of the Unicorn.
no, I mean in the sense of between the MPAA or whatever. Like they
Oh, of
took out
course,
like
yeah.
half the movie, and then on top of that, like the producers and stuff kept coming back and going, "No, get rid of this, put more of this in, get rid of that, get rid of this." And supposedly it's cheaper for them to use CGI than it is
Mhm.
to do practical. So they were very like, "Ah, no, we won't bother with practical." And like the guys were kind of fighting on some of the stuff, being like, "No, no, but this has to be practical though. We're doing close ups of like a dead body or whatever." And like, no, we'll just do CG bodies hanging on the hooks. We're like,
Yeah,
no, we have to
that
buy
looked
some
terrible.
bodies and hang them up. Like it's gonna look garbage.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna say I'm gonna say it. I'm not a fan of public transit. I never want to go on a subway again. I hate subways. I hate buses. I hate the people on them. They can all be hooked on meat trains and traveled into the depths of
For the
hell.
most part, like they're a certain type of person.
Yeah, it's true.
Like,
It's true.
it's funny.
Um, yeah, and so when this came out in theaters, did it make a lot of money? Like,
Oh, it made like shit money. So
really?
that was what I was gonna say. Yeah. So I didn't know this actually. That I had this written down somewhere. This was I found this like I was like, what? Um so in its North American release, it opened in 102 theaters only,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And they were the theaters that it opened in were a specific type of theater that I have never heard of before. They're known as dollar theaters, known for their extremely low admission prices. This was apparently a decision that was made by a newly hired executive at Lionsgate known as Joseph Drake, who greatly disliked the film and was doing anything to actively bury it. And even Clive Barker spends about 15 minutes on the commentary where he's like, I want to address all the issues that I have with Joe Drake and all the stuff he done to try and like Clive was like, I rang his office constantly and eventually he got on the phone with me and
Hmm.
he was like, I'll be honest. He was like, I can be quite difficult. And when I get annoyed, like I'm like screaming, shouting, I'll call you anything and everything. I'll say shit about you that like people wouldn't say. And the dude just went, no, Clive is just not going to work. It's a garbage movie. So
Wow, I'd be pissed just because some new guy, and the thing is not giving the film a chance to do well in the major theaters and stuff like that. Like,
supposedly this was supposed to be like a big theater release. There was supposed to be loads of like promo put into it. They wanted it rated R, and
mhm,
all that stuff was slowly but surely just like
of
stepped back,
course,
like less and
because
less.
I feel like it could have done well if they put it in major theaters because people would be like, "Oh, this sounds fucked up," go with your buddies or something like that. Like, I do think there could have
He
been
had
a
written a
chance for
trilogy.
this. Yeah.
He
What?
had written a trilogy.
Wow. And
So
they.
they were gonna have Bradley Cooper come back again, and it was gonna pick up and see how his
Mhm.
story continued, and then the third one I think was gonna go back to the start, and you were gonna see how Vinnie Jones's character ended up.
Oh, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, but
Wow,
he
of
was like
course.
obviously after it came out, like, and it was in a
All the
hundred.
things that we lost, man, just like it's so like annoying sometimes,
You know,
even
the
when
worst part is though, it's like you say every time. The part that kills me is when the things are lost and ruined by people who I feel like don't care.
no, no, they just want to make their money. All the record execs and I won't say anything. I'll say it from my show, but they
Yeah, yeah,
always seem
yeah.
to be the
I know
same.
who they are. It's a three-letter word you're gonna use.
I know it's so true. And then they ruin everything. Yeah, I want you to carry on with your notes. Like, I want to talk about the end near the end, so we can, because
I
that's the
did,
most interesting
yeah,
part to me.
yeah. I
So
was trying to save it, like, 'cause normally we
yeah,
kinda go all over the place, but this one I
yeah,
feel like the end is a bit wild, so I was trying to save it. I do actually like the idea of him having to get into, like, the underbelly of the city and, like, showing the reality of, like, what a city can be like after the sun goes down. I feel like it's
yeah.
only like, if we go into reality, it's day and night now, and, like,
I know.
it's much worse than what we're seeing in the movie, but I do kind of like that. I don't know if you've ever seen Nightcrawler with,
I think I
Uh,
watched most of it. Yeah,
what's the guy who was in Roadhouse with
Jake
Conor McGregor?
Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, yeah. You know, that kind of idea. And I
Mhm.
do feel like it kind of they done a good job, I think, of like kind of portraying like how spooky the city could be if you were like creeping around like that, trying to get like shots of crimes or like scary shit.
Yeah, and like there was a doc. I'm trying to Dark Days. I think that's is that it? There's a documentary. I watched this like really drunk and it tripped me out when I was younger. Yeah, Dark Days. And it's a documentary indie film and it's about like people living in the underground subways, I think in New York, and how they live literally underneath
Oh, I've
the
seen it. Yeah,
city. It's
yeah,
so wild, man.
yeah.
Um and like literally they have electricity and all that type of stuff. Like they're stealing power from like the I think the subway trains above them. I actually would like to maybe do a watch along. It's actually rated well on Rotten Tomatoes and stuff. In a lot of places. It's a bizarre thing. Yeah, maybe we'll look at doing this because it's on my side. It's bizarre and weird and just kind of creepy. And it'd be funny to see Billy's take. It's only an hour and a half, but like it's just weird to see how people live like that and how it is like Futurama or something where there's like an underground, um, not necessarily mutant people, but like legit people
Fire off.
living in yeah, in like the depths of the underground.
Imagine
You
how
know how
scary
crazy
that
it'd be?
should be.
What? I know.
Imagine how scary that'd be though. Like if you were, let's say you were just ripped out of your life right now, because I know that's probably how some of these people ended up there. Like it's not, I
Yeah,
don't think anybody ever went, you know what I want to do? I want to live in the subway like a rat.
yeah, I know.
But it's like, it's just true circumstances. Some people just end up. But imagine if you were just ripped from your life right now, everything got fucked up on you, you lost everything, and it was like my only option is like I'm gonna have to like venture down into the subway or whatever, and just like and like to
And
go down there, and then you have all these like
survive.
yeah, you have all these like pre-established people who are most of them are probably at this point like completely psychotic.
Yeah, I know. And then like you find like essentially like there's friends and different characters, and it's just like it is wild, man. Yeah, I'll actually look at doing that sometime soon. It would be interesting to cover on my show because I do have a episode about the it's about mole people, essentially people that live in the underground. I was eventually gonna maybe do it for Patreon, but I'm like it might be like too good to just hide away because it's so weird. The amount of people that do live in the undergrounds of some of these like subway systems, and it's pretty weird. But hey, if I would rather be living on the street corner or in some of the depths of the underground where they have a little bit of electricity and you can build shelters and stuff like that. Not gonna lie, I'd probably rather be a sewer rat.
Oh, I see one dude had like a computer and all.
I know. So it's like
Yeah, it's
whatever.
crazy. I was
It,
like, what? He
yeah,
was like living down in this little hole,
yeah,
like
it's
down
like
in
the
like this
it's like
scary.
the local like jerk off center. Like they have like
Oh God
you know what I
Almighty.
mean? Just that's where all the homeless people go if they need to get their rocks off. It's like right
Um, I did actually write down several times that I love how this movie was lit, like the kind of
yeah, yeah.
spooky, like kind of gothic colors, and the city. I felt like they kind of captured New York in like a different way. They made it feel really isolated. Like at night
Mhm.
when he goes out or when he's first following Mahogany, um, it feels like the streets are like almost empty. Like when he
Not like
becomes
that
fixated
now.
on him, yeah,
Yeah.
but like when he becomes fixated on him, it's like it feels like there's nobody else around. So it's like if something
Mhm.
happens to you, like you're fucked.
Well, and even those scenes where he's like sitting there with his briefcase, even Chelsea was like, "Why would you go up to this guy?" And he's like holding it tightly, like and
Yeah,
just sit.
weird
And
dude.
some of those shots where he's watching him for God knows how long, and it's like all the people are passing. I thought that was kind of a cool shot.
Also, why is his name Mahogany?
He really likes the smell of wood, you know.
It's like because instantly I had to double take on it. I was like, wait a sec, what? Like his name is Mahogany. I was like,
And some
that's
of
like
the parts, I'm like, I just hate stupid people in horror movies. Like when the girlfriend, Leslie Bibb or whatever her name is, like when
mm,
she's like when they're searching the apartment and then she sees a bag all of a sudden on the table, but it wasn't there before. And then so you go through the bag. Once you clue in that he's in the apartment now, and that and like
yeah, yeah.
and how she doesn't hear what happens to Jurgens or whatever that guy's weird name is. Like, why is your name Jurgens? I'm assuming that's his last name. But and Jurgens is literally a jerk off cream, Jurgens cream. Aaron knows about it. He's
Yeah.
but
What's
like
that? What? That guy's name was something weird like that, wasn't it?
Jurgens. I'm pretty
Was
sure
it?
it's Yeah. Did you not have like the thing pulled up? Pretty sure his name is Jurgens. Midnight Me Train.
I definitely have it written down somewhere, but I have a million pages of
I
notes.
know you always do. Let
I know,
me.
yeah, there's like something wrong with me.
Yeah, his name is Jurgis. Oh, Jurgis. I thought it was Jurgens. I swear I heard Jurgens the whole time. Jurgis. What a weird name. Everyone's just got
I,
like one names.
I did like as well, like there is a bit of a mix of genres. Like there's like a slasher kind of
Yeah.
crime thriller mystery, and then
I didn't know
obviously
where it was going because for the
yeah.
fans, I didn't know. I've never seen this. I've heard about this film since I was like probably 10 years old.
Oh, so this
You
is
know
the
what I,
first time you saw this?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Never
I thought
seen
you
it
had already
before.
seen this.
Wait, 2008. So maybe not that young actually. Um, so I was like 17. I feel like this movie was a little older. I remember hearing about this a lot when I was younger and then like the Midnight Me Train. I always wanted to watch it and remember the cover. So I probably remembered like seeing it at the video store or something like that, maybe Blockbuster. I actually thought it was a little older. Um, but I distinctly remember seeing this and then I never watched it. Like I didn't even know that. I'm surprised they didn't do the Clive Barker's Midnight Meat Train on it because they don't. It's not on the cover or anything like that. I would have maybe been more inclined, like maybe on some of the later posters, but the posters that I see, there's one where it says Clive Barker's. And most of them just
No,
have,
even on the DVD, it doesn't have. If you look on the
yeah,
cover of the DVD, there's nothing
that's
to
the
do with.
cover that
I
I would
wonder
see.
was. I wonder is that though a conscious thing with Clive going, don't put my fucking name on this in case it's garbage.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he felt quite happy, I think, about how this one turned out overall. The director's cut now, not the theatrical. He was really annoyed about the theatrical
So
cut
what the hell did I watch on Plex? Probably the theatrical, right?
because there's like all the extended gore scenes. There's more practical effects and stuff
Uh,
that are in the unrated version.
oh, I wish I watched that version. That would have been
Yeah,
nice.
because they got like 20 something minutes, I think.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
weird.
and a lot of it is the gore and the kills is what they cut out.
How long is the because I watched the one that was like an hour and 43 minutes or something like that.
Oh no, that's probably it then.
Weird.
Yeah, because there was
Um,
one that went to theaters and it was like an hour 20.
of course Ted Raimi gets his eyes bashed out too, right?
Yeah.
It seems like
Um,
something's always happening. But yeah, this is the first time I saw it. But I it's so funny how long that I went knowing and hearing about this movie, thinking the names sound weird, thinking, oh, I should watch this. And then when you're like, oh, we're gonna do Midnight Meat Train, I was like, all right, finally, I'll finally watch this. I've literally been putting this off for like 3 years to watch this because I was going to a long time ago too.
was I assume this was in it, and if that's the case, because I don't know, I didn't write down all the differences between the different cuts, but I wrote down the scene with him pulling out the teeth,
Yes,
nails, eyes. I thought was
that
like
was
really
pretty wild.
horrific, and I thought it was shot really well, and it kind of had like a weird like 80s vibe.
Chelsea couldn't look at it. She was like, "Oh no, 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 no!" And obviously, she's pregnant right now. Definitely doesn't want to
That's
see
just
that
like
type of
even
stuff.
worse.
Like in this, him yanking it out, but like you're getting rid of the identifiable records, right? That's what essentially what he's doing. So, if the bodies were discovered, I'm guessing, or when we get to who is consuming the bodies, maybe they didn't like the hard pieces, you know?
That was also like a kind of a bit of a left turn, like when he gets knocked out after that part,
Yeah.
and he wakes up and he's tied up, and there's like something attacking him, and like I
I was like, is
remember,
this the devil, some sort of
yeah, I was
demon? Like I didn't know what it was.
fuck, I was like, that's another element you've added now as well. I thought we were looking at like some sort of slasher movie. Now there's like
Mhm.
some kind of demon or something as well. I was like,
And
what?
we'll get into that because I have my theories, you know.
Um, I did write down. I thought that Vinnie Jones was fantastic as Mahogany.
I don't know who else could have played that, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah. I'll be
Like
honest.
who else would have like done it like he did it, where he was just like quiet and stoic and very like ominous and does look like a serial killer, you know, in some
He has the
regard.
face. He has that like
Like
face, like
a
just that
serial
stone
killer is just
cold.
your average human, right? Like that's the thing. Is like you never know because it could be anybody. But if you think about like um some of these people like what's the I'm thinking of a specific one, but there's been some serial killers where they're like kind of big dudes that have the like overpowering advantage. Um it's
I
gonna
mean,
bug
if I was going to do something like that, I'd want to be somebody like Vinnie Jones, probably, who's
me.
like,
I
I don't
know.
know, like he's what, like, uh, He's probably 6 foot something, I would
Oh,
imagine.
we gotta do Bruce McArthur. I'm just looking up. I was like, what's that guy's name? It's gonna bother me. So, um, yeah, just keep talking. I'll think of it. That's gonna bug me.
I do actually. I'll bring this up now. I feel like it's the perfect time considering we're talking about Vinnie Jones. I actually have a kind of funny story. So I met Vinnie Jones.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Isn't he
So
off of? Wait, isn't he off of Euro Trip? Yeah, and when they're in the like sing the whatever national anthem. And do you remember? Have you seen? You've seen Euro Trip, right?
yeah, I have. Yeah, it's been a long time.
And
though.
he's like one of the soccer hooligans, and they're all scared of him because he's like he's forcing him to like sing that song of the Manchester United, whatever. And it's actually a great movie, and his like character in
He's
that
a
movie
very
is
he's a
great.
very good actor. He's a very underrated actor. I mean, he used to be a professional soccer player as well.
Oh, really? That makes kind
Yeah,
of
like
sense.
well,
Why that's so
yeah,
fun why they put him in Euro Trip as a soccer hooligan,
yeah.
as a football hooligan, technically.
He was he played for Wimbledon, Leeds United, Sheffield United, Chelsea, and Queens Park Rangers. So for people over this side of the world, like those are all quite notable
Hmm.
teams. But yeah, he's in Wexford quite a bit, which is the town I live in, and he's big into horse racing, dog racing, and stuff like that. And so
Hmm.
he comes over here and has like relationships with people that have horses and different animals and stuff to go to races and stuff like that. So he goes and bets on it, and he just something he's into. So he spends like a good bit of time in Wexford, and there's a hotel where I go to the gym. It's literally a 2 minute drive from my house. But
Yeah.
we were there one time having dinner or something. It was like some sort of a family dinner, and I was taking a piss in the toilet, and I like just barely like tip elbows with whoever's next to me.
Hmm.
And then I look over and it's Vinnie Jones looking at me with that just like stone look.
Like you're peeing with him?
Yeah, like we're pissing at the urinals.
Oh, that's fucking weird.
And like, but I look when I look, right, it was literally like something of a movie. He does that stone cold face where he just
Yeah.
goes like and just looks straight at me. And I'm like, whoa, that's that. And then he just goes, all right, mate. And I'm like, hello. And I go over, I'm like washing my hands, and I'm like, I feel like I can't really, can I approach him in the bathroom? I'm like, but now I can't let him walk out of here either, though. I might never meet another
I
famous
know.
person
I
ever
would probably
again.
be like, yo,
So
even when I was
I couldn't
peeing.
help it. I waited till he was like washing his hands, and I was like, "You're Vinnie Jones, right?" And he was like, "So I'm told." And I'm like, "Wow," and like, dude, this was a long time ago, so I don't even
Yeah.
know if I had like a fucking camera phone or anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and Ireland wasn't in euro at the time. We were in
Mhm.
pounds. We were in Irish pounds. So I'm like, what the fuck can I get? And I'm like, oh, I have to get your signature. So I take out a £5 note and he signs the £5 note in the
Wow.
toilet.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's
That's
so weird.
man, I would have been like, yo, what the fuck? That's awesome. Like,
It was so weird because like when I looked at him and like he's a super nice guy, but like
mhm,
obviously he has that look. So like his
yeah,
face always kind of looks quite like you're like, whoa, this dude's gonna fucking kill me. And that's why I
that's
was like, should I
hilarious.
was like, is I don't know what he's like in real life. So like if I ask him like, "Are you Vinnie Jones?" Is he gonna like smash my head through the mirror and like kick the head off me? Because did you ever see the
Chop
video of
you up.
him? Like a dude tries to fight him in a bar.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, and Vinny like tries to punch the head off him.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't
Yeah,
know
so
that.
supposedly like he doesn't take no shit off people.
I probably wouldn't, right? He's a pretty big dude, and if you, yeah, so that's crazy.
He's a good actor though. He's a very good
Mhm.
actor.
That's gonna bug me. I keep
I'm
looking.
surprised he hasn't been in more horror movies, to be honest.
Yeah, because he could play that character. It's funny
Yeah.
when he's done comedy, horror, and then mostly obviously like a lot of like serious role gangster stuff because that's what he kind of looks like, right?
Um, and he was like notoriously violent as well when he used to play soccer.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh yeah, no, dude, he would do like these crazy tackles and like try and break people's legs and stuff.
Oh man, I'm still looking for that specific serial killer. Whatever. I don't. There's so many serial killers that we covered when I was going through this list. I was like, wow. Um, yeah, weird. It just like it's just familiar. Like it's just cool. Like how. Oh yeah. Well, that does not look fun with that lag.
Oh yeah, I know, right? The dude is just like he was manic when he was a soccer player.
Why
He
is he
just
grabbing that guy's balls? Look at that black and white one.
Oh yeah,
What is
doesn't care.
going
Yeah,
on
doesn't
there?
care. Yeah, just like
The first thing I told him when I got near him that I wouldn't be playing any football, and neither would he. Weird. He grabbed his nuts. He's
oh
definitely
yeah,
grabbed his nuts. He beats the shit out of a little kid. What the fuck is that?
oh yeah, he was notorious for that, man.
Weird.
Like
Then he became an actor.
yeah, like he
Oh
was
yeah.
notorious. Like people, so like
Look at him
you know,
fucking drop kick that guy.
like they would call it like when when somebody's marking you. So like if I'm a midfielder and you're a midfielder, you're marking my position or whatever.
Yeah.
And like I've seen so many interviews over the years with dudes who were like they go out on the pitch and then they realize that they're like matched up with Vinny and they're like, oh fucking hell, I'm not even
This
gonna
guy's
play
gonna kick
fucking
me in the
soccer.
head.
He's just he's literally gonna kick me in the head with studs.
That's so funny. Weird. Yeah, there's one
Uh,
picture, everybody listening to audio, where he looks like he's kicking a kid, like a child. It's really weird.
Scary dude though. He's
Yeah,
got a
why
good
is he grabbing that guy's nuts is the weirdest shit to me. Is that from Lock, Stock? What movie is that from?
uh
I can't
Lock,
remember.
Stock, I think.
Yeah.
Because he's in a couple of movies like that, right?
I love Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels. I think it's that one. It might be another one. It's so weird that he grabbed that guy's nuts. I'm not gonna like look at that guy's face. He looks pissed, and the guy's like, ow.
That would be awful though, right?
There's no way he could shoot those shotguns off in his hands like he has them in that movie.
Ah, not at all.
Especially a double barrel. I think they were. There's no way your fucking wrist.
I'm
really
actually
hits.
working on trying to get Vinny on the show, by the way.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Mm,
You gotta keep pushing because there's definitely some people I would like to talk to. I would talk to him. That'd be fun.
yeah.
I'd jump on for some of those ones with people I actually know. Some of the writers and directors that obviously other people would be very interested. I'm like, I don't know them. You know, I'm not like a horror. I'm not a completely horror nerd like you, but I am a nerd. But
When I was talking earlier about the release and like all the shit that went wrong with this movie, so on the track, Clive and the director, they talk about what happened. So there was pretty much no advertising, none whatsoever.
Wow.
Like nothing, no advertising at all. They had no website for the movie. The closest showing to like central Los Angeles was 70 miles away.
Weird.
Right?
They really that guy really wanted to suppress this film. That's fine.
I know, right? And then the closest showing to New York City was a 3.5-hour drive to the closest theater to New York City. So it was like he literally just picked places and went, where's the farthest, most like desolate areas I could find a movie theater?
I really wonder how well it would do if he didn't do that. Like if they put it in theaters, I'm sure they would have gotten an audience because people were like, yo, like, you know, if I was even that age, like, so whatever, this came out when I was 17. You know, if I was at the theaters and I saw the poster, I'd be like, yo, that looks sick. I gotta go see that. No wonder why I didn't hear about it until it was on like DVD.
I think it done really well on DVD as well. That was the only thing. So they were talking about that. They were like, it done really, really, really well on DVD.
Well, I wonder if they would have got money from the theatrical releases too, if it would have helped, because that's not really fair. I hate when they do that. It's like
they basically got fucking nothing. Clive said that the executive that I mentioned before, Joseph Drake, he eventually called Clive back and said, sorry, my friend, the movie just doesn't work at all for me. We can't get a good trailer from any of the footage you guys shot. It's just not going to happen. Just forget about it and that's it. Move on. And then the director comes on and says, well, funny you found that out, Clive, because I was told absolutely nothing. As far as I knew when I finished shooting, we were getting a huge theatrical release. We were getting a website. We were getting merchandise. We were getting advertising. We were getting everything. And then the day the movie comes out is when he found out that it was in 100 theaters, dollar theaters.
This guy got a beef with Clive or something. Like maybe that's
I don't know. He must have been just like a dick. And then that's when Clive says, you know, I do want to direct a lot of my own projects, but I just don't do it anymore because the studio interference has just been crazy. When I write my own stories and paint my own paintings, it's the only way that I have full control, which is a fair point.
Yeah, that's so crazy, man. I'd be fucking pissed. That's not really fair. Wow, it's sad because it could have done it way better, you know.
I did like the shot, you know, when Leon has his photo exhibit or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, he goes up, and I was looking at it. I was
when
like,
he's like staring at his eyes or whatever.
Yeah, I was looking at that photo of Vinnie Jones, and I was like, fuck, man, that'd be such a cool photo to have because it looks so scary looking. I'm like, that's actually quite a cool
Get him to sign that.
But I did like that part. It was kind of weird how, like, you know, he's like looking at the image, but then it nearly feels real. when he's looking
Yeah,
back
it
at
feels like he's staring back at you. Yeah, that was actually a good shot.
Yeah, Clive had written this as a trilogy, and he expanded the lore, and he was going to explain how deep the conspiracy truly went.
Sounds like he knows something that.
Now, here's another thing that I had a gripe with. The scene when Leon gets ready to fight Mahogany on the train. So I didn't, all he's like putting on the shit and all these like, it just felt a bit like something like out of the A-Team. I was like, this is a bit comical.
Yes.
What I didn't realize was, right, and this is going to kind of spoil because we're getting towards like the ending parts.
Mhm.
This will kind of spoil it in a way, but so the whole idea of that, right? I was like, that's kind of like, for want of a better term, I was like, it's a bit fucking gay looking like that he's putting on
Yeah.
this shit. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go fight him on the train with my tools.
Yeah.
What was kind of supposed to be happening there is inadvertently you were supposed to see his slow descent into becoming Mahogany's successor without
Yeah,
even
interesting.
realizing he was
Yeah.
putting the shit on
Mhm.
and didn't realize that, like, oh, I'm already like assuming this role basically.
Psychically, they're already controlling him, maybe because even when he started to snap pictures of him, it is weird. It's like it's almost like it's like ethereal type, like I'm trying to think of the word I want to use, but like how it's like it's kind of like a haunting. There's a word I'm looking for, but like he snaps the picture and then it almost kind of looks like he's connected to him now, like they were kind of
Yeah.
explaining. But psychically, man, that's the word I want. He's kind of in that world now, right? Where he's broken the threshold between our reality and then the reality of this underground of these like creatures that we'll get to or whatever. It is interesting because then it's kind of like we only see the physical world, but even Chelsea was like, oh, the weird, like 'cause she was putting pieces together before I was about the weird train conductor and how he allowed it to happen and how they're all kind of connected. And it's almost like he broke that threshold of like this reality and then the reality that they exist in that is supposed to kind of stay hidden. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there was a lot of, from listening to them talk, like there was obviously way deeper meanings, but it probably didn't really come across that well.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean? Like from the page to like, and this is what Clive was talking about. It's like, it's one thing to write a story and have all the stuff that like you feel should be part of it or you want it to be part of it. And then it's like, when so many people get involved and everyone goes, yeah, but maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that. And then eventually it's like, oh, so this is not my story anymore. Then this is just some other fucking thing.
It's garbage. I hate how they do that. Hollywood, man, make money, get their shekels, and get the fuck out of there. Right? As long as they're
Oh, yeah.
making money, and
Yep.
then it doesn't matter if it even does well, as long as they've made their money back and stuff. And art was dying. It's starting to slowly come back. But what does
I
that
did
listen to?
actually, I wrote this down and it has nothing to really do with anything, but I was like, you know what? I kind of want to meet a chick, like fucking Maya. Like
Why?
she would literally do anything for him.
Yeah.
Like, she puts up with all his bullshit for the whole movie, and then she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna like go to this place and get on this train and I'll like follow
Oh
him."
yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Wow!" It's like I can't even get a fucking text back.
I know that's a real woman. That's what
That's
you
the only thing.
want. You want
Yeah,
one that is going to like, die for you essentially, the same way that should want to
what
die
was
for
it
your
the way
partner.
Clive put it? It was like, "You want a woman who will follow you into the depths of hell," and something. He put it actually like it sounded like a
Yeah,
poem. I was like, "Wow, that's
it's
quite."
true.
You're a Clive Barker.
That's it's kind of what you want to look for. You don't want to look for like, oh no, you did one thing wrong. Now I'm on to the next guy in OnlyFans or whatever, or not
Yeah,
OnlyFans or
yeah.
what's that
You're right.
dating app?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
you're right.
What I can't even. I don't even know what it's called. Whatever, where you swipe. You
The
know.
way Tom has them all on his phone, really.
I was like, I
Um,
don't know what the fuck they're called.
I did like when she discovers all the bodies hanging in the train and that like wide angle shot and like then you
Yeah.
see like it goes to like the tools and his tool bag and the
Mhm.
naked chick and he's like it's just how he seems like he's just at work. It's
Yeah.
very like just clinical to him. He's not really like he doesn't make any faces. He's not like he's just stone face. He's like, oh yeah, I'm just doing a job. I thought that was a really
Yeah.
good scene.
Yeah, and some of the gross body scenes, especially during the fight scene, You know, when they're like
Yeah,
either
yeah.
finally they battle or whatever. Like some of
That's
that
actually
stuff was
really good. Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty gnarly, and the sounds that they like the hits and stuff like that. Like they the whoever did the sound effects did a pretty good job at like the sound of meat hitting when they were like slicing up the bodies because they were all like they're hitting against them and stuff like that. And then good old the fucking Jurgen scream is gets gets sliced up, and he's like, "You think he's gonna survive?"
Yeah,
But
that's
no,
pretty
no,
grim. That was pretty
yeah,
grim. Actually,
yeah,
like they're hacking the bodies up, they're covered in blood. They're like the way the camera's like moving around the train car, kind of.
yeah,
They did say when the knife stabs into Jargus and he essentially gets gutted while hanging upside down. I thought that was a cool touch.
yeah. 'Cause like, oh shit, and going to save him, and now he's gone forever. You know.
And then we're kind of getting into a lot of the stuff that you probably want to talk about as well.
Mhm.
When the train stops and the creatures enter, it had me rethinking what is happening. The creature design I felt like was great on these two and how they were lit. The idea of the creatures feeding on the bodies, pulling the legs off, and the bodies hanging on the meat hooks. Yeah, you know that scene where they pull on the body and like you see where
Yeah,
the hook is kind of going through like the heel or the ankle
yeah,
and it just like starts to tear.
yeah. It's
It's like,
gross.
wow, that's fucking horrific.
Yeah.
My skin is turning green. I'm a reptilian.
It's definitely pointing towards the idea of the reptilians. Like they literally look like reptilian creatures, same kind of jaw. Like for sure, they're diving into a conspiracy. Like the I don't know. Like in my conspiracy mind, it's like I think these people get even like Clive, someone like Clive Barker. You know, is he are these thoughts coming from his head, right? Or is something dropping them in his head?
Yeah.
People might not understand that if
That's
you've
very
never
possible.
listened to my show, but like, is that what's happening? Is these thoughts being dropped in his head by something beyond our reality? Because that whole thing is supposed to be a very real conspiracy theory about why so many children go missing a year. And there's theories about that okay, there was I started getting into the alien aspect of things and diving pretty deep into the reptilians. And if you're not aware of who like David Icke is, you should probably go listen to his talks because it's still fascinating, even if maybe it's not true. It's still pretty fascinating. And this kind of idea that there is some sort of ancient reptilian type creatures that either physically exist here or they exist in an alternate dimension that we just can't see that are feeding off our energy. That's just one theory, right? But there's been theory of going down that UFO and gray alien and reptilian rabbit hole. This idea I've heard from people that supposedly were in the military that there is underground bases, DUMBs, yeah, that's what they call them, and deep underground bases, and that there is some sort of reptilian creatures, like you have the Dulce base, and they're actually feeding them in the underground. And that's why all these children go missing because they want a certain type of pubescent child because it's a pure energy source. And then they do things like what people classify adrenochrome is and stuff like that. And like we'll be covering it on my show eventually, where I do think, you know, you can think this is all conspiracy theory and jargon or whatever, but there is a lot of things that point, like the Wiener laptop supposedly was real. Why did 16 cops mysteriously die at the hands of Hillary Clinton? And then I've seen the images from the Wiener laptop. I've literally seen them where it looks like a young girl is missing her face. And then guess what? It connects to Tom Hanks and Castaway and Ellen and all these things because you know, Wilson,
Yeah.
you know, that's supposed to be the look of a face that has been torn off. And conveniently, Ellen also is on a video when she has a sweater that has that exact same like that face on it. And there's been other videos. So this idea of being drip fed into our head about the fact that there is maybe some sort of creatures in the underground that are feeding on human beings, and that's why all these people go missing. And yes, it could be sex trafficking and all sorts of things, right? But the rate of the amount of children that go missing should disturb a lot more people than it does. Most people are living their everyday life not thinking about it, but we covered this recently on like our the Dark Side of Hollywood episode. Is like it is more prevalent than people understand, and most people in the world that we exist in don't want to look at that stuff because it frightens them. that, wow, if this is actually going on and maybe the governments or something like that are facilitating it or at least know about it because they must, then life gets a little more scary. It becomes like a horror movie, and most people don't want to look at that. They want to look at the fake thing on a screen, right? But sorry for my little rant, but like it is the ties to this, you know what I mean? When I saw that, I was like, of course, this leads back to this whole idea of like the reptilians, and I'm like, it makes kind of sense. I feel like Clive Barker was either looking into conspiracy theories or heard about something to do with this, you know?
I was just going to say he doesn't mention anything, obviously, like, but maybe there's something
How?
that
And he
he's
must.
into.
Why are they reptilian looking creatures? You know, why
Very
is it in the
convenient,
underground?
isn't it?
Yeah. You know what I
It's very
mean?
convenient when you bring it up like that.
Yeah.
It is actually quite convenient that
Of course, they're
that
that
it's
type
that,
of
yeah,
creature.
it's that closely kind of tied in a way.
Hmm. That weird though. When I saw that, I was like, kind of makes sense. And they have to feed them or they'll come out of the underground. You know what I mean? Like it's there's legitimate conspiracy theories, and you have people like Phil Schneider, who was a military personnel, and his father was in the military, and he died mysteriously of a heart attack at a weird random time, just like, you know, we got William Cooper and some of these other characters. And he supposedly went to underground base, was very credible, was sane, and said that he saw creatures and they killed one of his friends. And the military, I think the military didn't know, but the government knew that what they were digging onto was like, we're creating these underground bases for the military, but they were actually digging into an alien underground base, and there was creatures down there that he saw that like psychically like shot his friend with this laser beam thing, and he was missing fingers because one of them hit his hand, and like stuff like that. Like people cannot believe it, but there's been a lot of people on this earth that have had weird experiences like that. So if you're interested by that, Strange Brew podcast, but it's, I don't know, the reptilian thing was like, I was like, of course, man, that's a weird connection that, you know, if at some point we could cover this on my show, because there is this, if we wanted to at some point go towards breaking down symbolism of movies, I bet you I could find a ton to do with this movie, of the occult kind of symbolism and rituals and stuff like that they do throughout Hollywood. You know, a little what do they call that? We go look a little tinfoil hatty, but you know, it's quite possible, you know.
I did write down as well, actually, that final battle between them, I thought was really gory and quite good. And I did like the way Vinny had one line and just said welcome.
Yeah, and that finally he talks, and they cut out his tongue, so he's like essentially just like, you're a servant of these creatures.
When it seems like it's over, the train driver appears, rips out his tongue, explains the backstory of what is truly going on here, stabbing Maya and ripping out her beating heart, telling Leon, now serve as we all do without question.
Yeah.
Which I thought was another cool touch.
The conductor, as he would be called. The character was pretty good and like kind of like creepy and just like mysterious, you know?
Then I did like actually that tie back. So like at the very end, then it shows us that the opening kill at the very start of the movie was actually Leon.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, and then he turns and faces the camera, and it has a really cool soundtrack, a really cool song that comes on.
Yeah.
So that was supposed to be the whole point. That clip you see at the start was actually him doing his first kill, which is why it was supposed to be so slappy and whatever. Yeah, Clive and the director said that they were really proud of the movie, and they were more thankful for the horror community afterwards supporting it, because like all that other shit that went on with it, they were like, if we didn't have the horror community, like nobody'd have ever even heard of this movie, like ever.
Yeah, which is disappointing, you know.
Yeah, like I said, the special features on the DVD were good as well. There was that thing about Clive Barker. It was just inside his house, his painting studio. I thought that was quite fascinating and interesting. There's a featurette on Mahogany's character. You have the prop master talking about his weapons and like the design of the bag and all that stuff. Like they really thought out a lot of stuff that didn't really come across on screen. Then they have the anatomy of a murder scene, which is Ted Raimi's death. And there's like interviews with him, and then they have like the director, the screenwriter and stuff, and they're just like general kind of behind the scenes stuff.
He's always in random stuff, man.
I did
It's like
also
a
write down
side
as well, like
character.
the soundtrack for this movie is really good. If you haven't listened to it, it's actually like a really good
How do you
soundtrack.
not have carpal tunnel, man? I have like pretty bad carpal tunnel, like at times, and like you write out all your notes. Where I did that at the beginning of
So right,
Strange Brew, where it's
I
like
print
sloppy.
I print a certain amount of
Oh,
stuff, right?
yeah, yeah.
And then I have blank pages. And as I'm watching it, I'm like trying to scribble stuff down. But I definitely I suffer big time
Yeah,
with
it's
that.
so I can't do that anymore. At the beginning of Strange Brew, I would write in a notebook and I would like look up like mysteries and write it, and it was just like the sloppy writing when we're like, and then we're drinking, talking about it. I'm like, I
Dude,
can't do this.
like there's sometimes when I'm trying to read this that I can't read it back because I'm like, it's hurting me. So I'm literally just going like it's like hieroglyphics.
Dude, you should like when I was doing like when like I've been doing music for a long time, but a lot of the songs, especially years ago, I wrote when I was drunk because like when I'm drinking, I don't know, like it sounds weird, but if I find that good medium, a lot of artists can, like, you can't be too drunk, you got to be buzzed. Me and Billy have done it where we would do freestyles. I could actually be better at freestyling and like having things come off the top of my head when I'm just a little buzzed, not too drunk, but not too sober. So I wrote a lot of my songs like intoxicated or close to it. And even I wrote one, I had a couple beers last night because I'm like, this is coming to the end of the road of me being able to do that. And I finished the song and I actually really like it. But a lot of those like beginning songs I was doing, it was just scribbled on the page, and I have to like try to like, okay, this is what I was writing, because it's just so like I can read my own writing because I was so used to writing like that and having to read it back for doing like music. But if I gave that book to anybody else, they would not be able to read it. And it's interesting that like when I was like I dropped that at school, started working, and then went back to finish. I actually applied myself and did fairly well, but it was funny that one of the buddies, there was me and this dude Amiko, and he was a hip hop artist too, a little more like gangster rap, he's black and shit. And so I was a little more like conscious rap, whatever they call that. And the teacher was like talking about how me and his writing were difficult to read, and my buddy Lee was like, it's hilarious. That's the both of them are rappers and you can't read their writing. He's like, typical, right? But like, it's so funny to see like some of my old books where I'm like, how the fuck did I even read this?
I know that's how I feel. Like I'd say if I was to look, because I keep all the notes just in like
Yeah,
a folder thing, and I'm like, maybe in years to come I'll look back on them and like be able to remember things and be like, oh yeah, I remember that. And I'm like, I don't even know if I'll be able to read that shit in like 10 years.
it'd be so funny, like our kids reading, like, what the fuck is wrong with them?
You know, 'cause I was
they're in a
thinking about
digital
this, and I was
prison.
like, yeah, and I'm there going like, my kid will probably look at that and go, "What are you, fucking retard?"
Are you mentally sound right now? Like, maybe horror movies don't even exist. Maybe we live in a totally different world where everything's under a digital lockdown. You have just like,
Yeah.
look at these notes about these things we used to watch called horror movies.
I seen something today actually before we finish this episode, just
Yeah.
like talking about what you're talking about, like a digital prison kind of a thing. I can't remember where it was, but I seen some sort of, I don't know if it was on TikTok or somewhere. It was obviously just like a, not an AI clip, but like some fake thing. But
Mhm.
it was like some woman who gets on like the subway or something. She must have to take the train to work every day, is like the premise of this advertisement or whatever it was supposed to
Mhm.
be. And she's like, it kind of is like an infomercial thing. She's like, oh, I used to hate my 2 hour daily train commute to work every day. But now with my fucking, I don't know what she called it. She was like, now with my fucking whatever, I just plug it into my head and I love my 2 hour journey. And she puts this thing on the side of her head, right? And her eyes just like glaze over and turn white. And she's just like sitting on the train like this. And like, I'm assuming there's like obviously something going on in her brain. Like she thinks she's doing something else. And then when
Yeah.
it turns off, like she's at her destination and it pans out and like everybody else on the train is also going and like that. And I'm like, wow, that's fucking scary.
Look at like Severance. If we, like, I'm done. So if you ever want to talk about that stuff, like,
Oh, yeah, I'm nearly finished.
there's a lot of cult symbolism in that stuff. A cult symbol. It's weird, man. And is that where we're like headed? That's why I'm like, all these things were stepping stones for where we're going, but that's for my show. So I enjoyed this. Like, it was fun to do. We have a lot of ideas. We need to finish up some of the stuff that I've already watched because it's gonna fly out of my head with the amount of research that we do. So, but this was out of 10 meat hooks, I'll give it like a good like 7.5,
Yeah,
7
yeah,
meat
I
hooks.
think that's a fairly, I was gonna say around a 7, I think is a fairly
Yeah, 6.57, like, based on like, how often you watch it or whatever. But like, it's kind of like a kind of artsy movie, in my opinion.
Yeah,
It's kind of like that. Like, it
yeah,
could have
definitely
been
has
better,
that feel.
worse. Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't the worst. But yeah, if you did enjoy this, everybody, make sure to always leave a like, rate, follow, share, anything like that. It helps us more than you can imagine.
Yeah.
And you can check out all my stuff on ClassHorrorCast.com or find me on ClassHorrorCast on Instagram is probably where I'm most active on social media. And like Tom said, follow both our Rumbles. More so mine because for some
Yes.
reason people just don't like to follow me on Rumble.
Well, we talk about controversial stuff on mine. That's where our one episode that we did has done very well. There's some very controversial topics that we've covered that people are like really enjoying on there. So that's good.
I have to this point I have made 2 cents on Rumble. So
Don't
that's
worry. Yeah, it's fine. I've only made like $40 or something like that, and I just let it sit there. That's why you gotta support the show, is because you realize like this costs us to make and produce and stuff like that more than you think it does. A lot of people are like, oh, they're just like recording it. No, it's you have to spend money to do these things.
Yep, you surely do. And then you
And
have
I
to spend
can't be monetized on fucking YouTube because it's dangerous and controversial, according to them. Go fuck yourself.
Don't say that, Tom. It's such nice people. I haven't been banned yet.
Yeah. I
But
haven't
yeah,
been compared to the stuff that I do, crossing fingers, all the stuff that we've covered. I'm surprised what they've allowed, but let's just keep it that at least they're
don't say
keeping it
so
up.
much. Don't say
At
so
least they're
much.
keeping it up. Thank you, YouTube, for being so fucking censored.
Thank you, YouTube, for being so great. We love YouTube so much. YouTube, do not demonetize my channel or my videos, please. I love you so much.
Yes, please help us.
Please help me. I can't afford to run the show anymore. Please help me.
Yeah.
But yeah, we appreciate everybody. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Let us know if you've seen the movie, what you thought about it, and if you have any suggestions for future episodes, we would love to hear them as well. And yeah, we'll see everybody real soon in the next one. Peace.